3. Hello and welcome to Bugs in My Backyard podcast, episode number 7. I'm Jonathan and this is Bennett coming from our home in Nebraska. And in our first try, we attempted to tape this just a second ago and the audio didn't work. And Henry was in the whole podcast and he was very distracting. So he's not in this shooting of it. But Bennett, I went on a trip this week.
Yeah.
And some people told me that they liked our podcast.
What? At the trip?
Well, some people I work with, they saw it. So that's pretty cool. I don't know who's watching this. It's just fun for Bennett and Elisa and Samuel and Henry and me to do it. But this week, our insect of the week is a group of insects called dragonflies and damselflies, the helicopters of the insect world. Or maybe helicopters are the dragonflies and damselflies of the human world. So Bennett, tell me, what's your thought about damselflies and dragonflies? Like if you had to describe one to someone, what would you say?
They can fly.
They can fly. What else?
They have big eyes.
Big eyes. Let's look at one. That's a dragonfly. That's a picture I took last year, and I think it's called a Halloween pendant.
Ooh.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it kind of looks Halloween-y.
Yeah, but see, it has the big eyes, the long abdomen and back, and big wings. Here's a damselfly. So it has the long wings and long abdomen. So that's an example of what they are. So if you had to look at them, you'd say they're long and skinny, and they got wings that are large relative to their body, and they are obviously flying a lot. But Bennett, flies. So they have the word flies in their name. Are they kind of fly? No, they're not. So it says dragonfly, damselfly. They're not a type of fly. So keep that in mind.
No way.
No. What's that?
No way a type of fly.
No way a type of fly. But here's the thing. Like, most people really haven't heard of damselflies. They've heard of dragonflies. And so we want to tell you they're very closely related, but they're different. So we're going to tell you which is which. How to tell them apart. Which is which? Which is which? Bennett, what would you say is how would you tell them apart?
First of all, that the dragonfly, its wings are kind of laid out when it rests.
Yes, perfect. So there's a picture. I think that's called a widow skimmer. But yeah, see how the wings are flat when it's at rest versus a damselfly. Let's find a good damselfly picture. And the damselfly, the wings are its body when it's at rest. So the wings fold up behind it. And the dragonflies lay flat. What's another thing about it? What's another difference between the two?
So the damselflies' eyes are on the side and the like touching.
Yes. So let's see here. Let's see if I can find a good picture of one on the side. So that picture, you see, if you go to a gym and you have like a barbell and there's weights at both ends, that'd be kind of like what a damselfly eyes looks like. But a dragonfly, their eyes are touching, like Bennett said. So their head looks probably a little more roundish. Versus the damselfly's head looks kind of like like sort of like longish, I suppose. Let's see if this longer than it is.
Like a hammerhead.
Is wide. Yeah, kind of like a hammerhead shark, I guess.
Because it has the long body, the head to the side, the eyes to the side.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a hammerhead shark. I can see that. Yeah. So here's a dragonfly. Yeah, you can kind of the eyes are. So the eyes are bigger. They're touching in the middle. What's another difference about them?
Okay.
what about its body? So look at the abdomen.
Oh, the abdomen is bigger on a damselfly?
Nope.
It's
Dragonfly.
skinnier?
Yeah. So like, see, like a damselfly abdomen is long and skinny like this. So it looks a lot longer and skinnier. And a dragonfly abdomen, we'll go back to that, is thicker.
And it looks shorter. Looks way shorter.
Well, it might. Like generally dragonflies are bigger, but see, they're wider. So it's a wider abdomen, not as skinny as a damselfly. So that's how it's all apart. And they're like, dragonflies are generally bigger. Damselflies can be super tiny. Like this guy's probably not so tiny, but I saw some today, Bennett. I was out looking at bugs, and they were like maybe an inch long. They were tiny. So that's how it's all apart. Okay. So next we're gonna go to the next topic, which is dragonflies and damselflies. What do they eat and who eats them? So what do you think, Bennett? No, you can't look at the notes.
They eat moths, tadpoles, butterflies, and something else. Aphids.
You missed the biggest one. The thing they eat the most of.
Frogs.
You guys are missing the home run one.
You went to the first one.
Okay.
Plants.
No, they don't eat plants. Okay. Talking to the microphone so people can hear you. Talk loud. But they eat mosquitoes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what they eat the most of. So they're a real big friend for us. So if you see a damselfly or a dragonfly out there, it's out there eating lots of mosquitoes. However, they'll eat just about anything they can. So if it's big, if it's the right size, they'll try to eat it. So I always joke with prey. They probably would eat us. Well, dragonflies probably would too. So, so they'll eat anything. They'll eat flies and bees and moths, and they'll eat butterflies. They'll eat little tiny aphids if they're small. And in the water, we'll get to this in a second, but the nymphs, the baby dragonflies and damselflies, they'll even eat tadpoles, like baby frogs. Yeah, which will also eat them.
and they're bigger than, and so the babies are smaller than the adults, and they eat bigger stuff than the adults eat.
No, because a baby tadpole is not very big.
Yeah, because
they can get bigger. You're right, they can get bigger, but when they start, they don't start very big.
Which can also eat them.
So let's show. So they eat all those things, and how they eat is you'll often see them perched on a stem or a flower, and they fly really fast, and they'll catch an insect, eat it, and come back. So a lot of times, if you're watching one on a stick and it flies away, odds are, where's it going to come? Right back. Right. So in dragonflies, will search for mosquitoes. So they'll fly all around. You might see them flying all over the place, and they can catch mosquitoes in midair, which we'll get to that later. That means they're really good flyers. Damselflies will often wait and go and snatch something and come back. So that's what they eat. But what eats them? What do you think?
Birds and spiders and tadpoles.
Frogs. Well, here's a picture. This is one of my favorite pictures. I got this last year in Washington, and it's a picture of a flycatcher. I think it's specifically a willow flycatcher, a bird that's eating two damselflies. I call it double damselfly delight. And actually, this bird hunts the same way most dragonflies and damselflies do. It sits up on a perch, and it'll quickly dart out and catch an insect and fly back. So if you see a flycatcher, which is a kind of bird, if you see a flycatcher out in nature, you'll often see it come back and forth to the same spot while it's hunting for its prey. So it's kind of ironic that the thing that eats the damselflies hunts the same way they do. All right. Next on our list for today to talk about is damsel and dragonflies. This is your life. The life of a damselfly and dragonfly.
You said damsel dragonflies. That would be creepy. Both of them added together.
Like a Frankenstein dragonfly stitched together. You don't know what Frankenstein is?
Yeah, I do, but that's just weird.
Because Dr. Frankenstein sort of made his monster, stitched his monster together. So if we stitch different parts of a dragonfly, okay. Tangent. We don't need to go there. So how do they live their lives? So they start as an egg, and the moms lay the eggs in water. And so they need to be near water. So you're generally going to find dragonflies and damselflies near water. And that's where the babies grow up in water. And then when they become adults, they finally emerge out of the water. So let's show them some pictures of the babies. They call them nymphs.
My hair is this way, but...
That's because on the video it shows backwards, but it comes out okay. So this, I'm pretty sure, is a damselfly nymph. Nymph is another word for like an immature insect. And then this, I believe, is a dragonfly.
Oh.
I think so.
Wait, what?
I think that's a dragonfly.
Yeah, that's the dragonfly.
And I think this is a damselfly.
Yeah, that's the damselfly.
I mean, they look very similar. They might...
But look at the big head on the dragonfly.
Yeah.
And then the damselfly.
Anyway, so that's generally what they look like under the water, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're eating things underwater. So they eat aquatic insects. Like I said, they might even eat little tadpoles. They'll eat little fish. They'll eat whatever they can get their hands on.
And they're slimy.
They're very slimy. And you'll find them anywhere. You'll find them in ponds. You'll find them in rivers where there's usually where the water's kind of slow. You'll find them in lakes. So if you ever go looking in a pond this summer, and you'll probably find dragonfly and damselfly nymphs swimming around. And what do we call their life cycle, Bennett?
A incomplete life cycle.
Incomplete metamorphosis.
Incomplete.
And remind folks, what does that mean?
It means that the babies look like the adults.
Yep, for the most part. Now these guys look. I mean, obviously that's not yet an adult, but they don't form a cocoon or a pupa where they change into something really different. They basically just get bigger and bigger and bigger and grow new parts. Basically like what a human baby would do. Like when Bennett came out, he basically looked like an adult.
Baby.
But you're missing teeth. You don't have your adult teeth yet. You might, when you're born as a baby, you might not have a full head of hair. So babies get bigger and bigger and bigger, just like dragonfly and damselfly babies get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I can't have it higher than this.
All right, last topic here. Dragonflies and damselflies. Cool stuff about dragonflies and damselflies. Bennett, what's some cool stuff about dragonflies and damselflies?
Is it on there?
Yeah, but I have some things written down. What would you say?
Oh, I know. They can fly backwards, and they might be able to fly upside down like hummingbirds.
Well, we don't know if they can fly upside down, but I did see this morning, I saw a damselfly fly backwards. Literally, it was flying forward, and then it was flying backwards. So, like I said, they're like the helicopters of the insect world, and that means they're really good flyers. They can change direction, they can hover, I think dragonflies can go, I don't know if dragonflies can go backwards too, but damselflies definitely can. So they can fly all around. They're very fast. They fly anywhere from like 20 to 35 miles an hour. That's pretty fast for a little insect.
But what about a hummingbird? Hummingbird.
Yeah, but we're just not talking. I don't know how fast hummingbirds can fly, but they're probably similar. Also, let's just go back to a picture of a dragonfly because I want to. Samuel make an appearance in the background?
Yes.
Let's go back to this one, the one we started with. Its eye. So I read that their eyes have 30,000 lenses, which means they have very good vision and they can see all around them, even their backside, as Bennett likes to say.
No.
That was Bennett's joke in the first episode. They can see their butt and their face at the same time.
It wasn't a joke.
It's true, right? It's true. It was a very good observation. So they can see all around them. So their vision is amazing. Now, from what I understand, the humans can see detail a lot better, but dragonflies can see more things around them. And Bennett was goofing around with a pen. I tried to catch him on camera before. There are 5,000 different types of dragonflies in the world, and I think more damselflies.
Whoa.
So that's it. Bennett, we got something else for everyone this week. We have an insect of the week. Oh wait. Oh, Elisa wants to show us something here. Elisa, our 11-year-old in our family, is going to show us something. She did a 4-H project a couple years ago where she had to collect insects and pin them for display.
That
So
sounded.
why? Yeah. What's here? Let me
He's
take
gonna
one.
poke me.
So this gives you an idea of how large. Now they can vary in size, but it gives you an idea about how large, like an average size dragonfly is. And then if you look and see the wings spread out, so that's what you're gonna see when it's at rest, basically.
I can't see
Oh, I'm trying to hold it for the camera.
there.
Why is this so hard?
It's kind of a mirror.
There we go. So that gives you an idea about how they look, and so Lisa had to catch these, and here, I'll do this one now.
Can I hold one? Can I hold one? No.
So they have these clear, here you go, these clear wings for the most part, with some coloring on them, but they have mostly clear wings. And there you see its long abdomen, and this is a dragonfly because its wings are outstretched. It has big eyes and has a thicker abdomen. So thank you, Elisa.
The pen.
All right, Bennett. Now to next of the week. Next what of the week?
Pokemon.
Pokemon. So Bennett selected a couple Pokemon for us. So Bennett, why don't you tell us about these two?
One is Burmy and the other is Wormadam, and it's an evolution, which is like one
One is evolved, so the Wormadam is the evolved form.
Wormadam. Yeah.
Wormadam.
And the bagworm Pokemon.
Bagworm. And what's the bagworm in the insect world? Why is it called a bagworm?
Because it's a worm, well, kind of a caterpillar, and it lives most of its life in a bag, and it grows up to be a moth.
Yeah. So now, are these powerful Pokemon?
The next form is Wormadam.
Wormadam. Have you ever used it in a fight before?
Yeah.
And what happened? Did you use it against your brother?
Yeah.
Oh, I tried to get him. Use it against Samuel in a fight.
Can't get the pen.
Well, we don't need a pen because we're doing a podcast.
What do I do for me?
All right,
My
and then
mustache.
last one we're gonna show one more. This is a Pokemon they have on their Pokemon Go, and it is, what's this one?
Vibrava.
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 And what? Tell us about it.
It is really bad. Well, the one that we had was really bad, and
It's not very powerful, or the one you have is not. You haven't powered it
No.
up enough yet.
terrible.
Yeah, but it looks like a dragonfly. But you said on the game it calls it a locust. I guess I don't know. I guess it could be. A locust is basically a grasshopper. It looks like a dragonfly to me. But anyway, all right. Those are our insects of the week. Thanks for listening to our podcast again, and we appreciate your interest. And we'll see you back next time.